You know, this is National Volunteer Month, so here to share some opportunities at our local hospitals, we have Kelly Anderson and Monty McIntyre.
Yeah, hey guys, thanks for coming in. We appreciate it. What opportunities might there be specifically for volunteers at CAMC? Because you guys have volunteers all year long, but this is a real emphasis right now.
We do. We have volunteers at all 4 of our area hospitals, CAMC General, Memorial, Women and Children's, and Tays Valley Hospital. And we have about 150 or so volunteers that do lots and lots of different things to help support our patients, our staff, families, in so many different ways. And during Volunteer Month, we always like to try to recognize and celebrate our volunteers even more than maybe we do every day.
Yep.
Oh,
nothing wrong with a little pat on the back every once in a while like that. That's for sure.
And we want to find out what you some of your volunteer work there, but talk about some of the different areas you can volunteer, and is there an age range for volunteers?
Well, we do take volunteers from 16 years old right now that are in high school, that have finished the 9th grade, or the 10th grade, I'm sorry. And we've got volunteers that are, I think our oldest volunteer is 93 right now.
Gosh.
And yes, so we just, we love them, young or old. They just have so much to offer. They can be at the bedside with patients. They can be behind the scenes in some of our clinical areas, helping with staff support. They can do some office things like calling patients, reminder calls in offices. We really need volunteers to help guide visitors and patients through the hospital. One of the programs that is a fairly new program actually in the last 2 years is our 11th Hour Companion program.
We were going to ask you about that.
And,
what's that all about?
Yes, and so that is why Monty McIntyre is here with me today. He has been a volunteer with us for 2 years, and about 3 years ago he came into our office. His wife has been a volunteer with us for many years, and he had an idea. Monty, why don't you share your idea that became a reality?
Well, it actually started 28 years ago on July the 1st. My father was in a nursing home in St. Albans, and the family had been with him during the waking hours and up into the later evening hours all the time. About 11 o'clock on the 29th of June, or the 30th of June, I left and went back to St. Albans or Ravenswood, and 4 o'clock that next morning, my father died. And the first thing that hit my mind was he died alone. We'd been with him all those hours, and at 4 o'clock in the morning, he died. And I often thought that nobody needs to die alone. So that's how I got with Kelly. And
so he came into the office and he said, do you all have an 11th Hour Companion program? And I said, what is that? And he shared his story, and it is something that we had talked about, but we had never done. And so we took his energy and his idea and developed a program that's called our 11th Hour Companions, and we have volunteers who...
It's a great idea. It's terrific. And Monty, I bet you've probably heard from other people who have been through the same thing that you went through.
Well, you know, you go through life and you hear people talk about patients in hospitals or nursing homes that, you know, they have a moment of clarity. They kind of come alive.
Right.
And, you know, they talk and they carry on with their family, and then before you know it, they just pass away.
Right.
And I often wondered if my dad at 4 o'clock in the morning had that moment of clarity, you know, where's everybody at? I'm alone.
Yeah.
So I've always thought about that.
Yeah.
But that's a wonderful program. As a volunteer, now you're encouraging other volunteers to step in and help out. Wow. Okay. So Kelly, remind everyone, if they want to get involved in any of your volunteer opportunities, how do they do this?
Well, you can go to camc.org, and on that website you can go to the volunteer page, and there's a lot of information there about the different opportunities for serving, and you can apply online. If you have any questions, certainly you can call our office at the number on the screen, 388-7426, and we can certainly answer any questions.
All right. Kelly, Monty, thank you so much for coming in. That's great information that you have for us today.
And what a great program, Monty, that you started there.
Right, yeah, awesome job. Yeah. Great work.
Well, I think it's needed.
Yeah.
You know, we're all going to die one of these days. And it would be nice to have somebody to hold your hand and just say goodbye.
That's a great thought.
Because we're with them when they're with their last seconds of life.
Yeah, making that difference. Hey, Monty, thank you so much. And Kelly, thanks for coming in.
Sure thing.
You bet.
Thank you very much.
Sure thing.
Oh, sure.